what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about some Outriders and some pretty glaring issues that we're having right now. Now, before we even get into it, I will say that the game is definitely in a better spot than it was, just a few weeks ago. But I don't think it's enough. We're having a lot of people are getting burnt out at the moment. Understandably, because even with myself, who makes content on the game, who makes builds, who has to farm, for hours just to get the right drops, right mods and all that stuff. I got tired of playing my Technomancer, and I was like, hey, you know what? I got a Devastator. He's right at the start of World Slayer. I'm gonna jump on him, farm some gear, make some builds on Devastator that people haven't really thought of yet. And immediately, as I started the campaign, I got this sinking feeling in my stomach, and I was like, bro, I do not want to have to grind to Apocalypse Tier 40 again. I don't want to do it. I don't want to grind Ascension points. None of it. I don't want to do it. I mean, of course I am going to do it, but that don't change the fact that I don't want to. And I know that if I'm feeling that burnout as a person, who's making content, the average person, the normal people who just want to, play the game for fun, they want to make crazy builds, they want to, look up builds and try to build them, put their own twist on it and everything like that. They're not going to do that grind multiple times. They're going to do it. They're going to get halfway through one time, and then they're going to peace out. They're going to leave, go play something else, maybe come back in 6 months to a year, something like that, just to check up updates. But with the, current player size in Outriders, and if they want this game to keep going, which I kind of feel like they got a skeleton crew on this game at the moment, and they're probably working on something else. But unless they want this game to just, start bleeding players, this is around the time, the honeymoon period is over. All the people who got the game, they kind of played, they got their fun, and now they're leaving. This is the time where you try to keep the core players happy. This is the time where you try to, you change things, you reward the people who stayed around so that they keep staying around, they keep playing, they bring their friends back potentially, and, word of mouth spreads that the game's, getting fun, maybe have a sale on the expansion, and bring people back. This is around that time right here, because even in my comments from other videos, people are getting burnt out. They're leaving. They're like, yo, I ain't got time for this. It takes way too long to get to Apocalypse Tier, higher up. And although for the most part it's just an arbitrary number, it doesn't really mean anything. A build that works at Apocalypse Tier 30 is going to work at Apocalypse Tier 40. The numbers will just be bigger. You'll hit harder, but it'll pretty much still be the same. The gameplay loop doesn't change much. Now, with that being said, I don't think that the endgame grind should be, gear and grinding up your Apocalypse your world tier. The grind should be the Ascension points. You should hit, Apocalypse Tier 40 around I would say pushing it 25, 30 hours of just continual grinding to hit Apocalypse Tier 40. And then after that, you have the Ascension point system where you just earn your points slowly over time. Your stats go up slowly, and it works out better that way because you'll be getting, your strongest gear. You'll constantly still be getting stronger because you'll be getting those stat points over time, and you won't constantly be wondering what this build is going to be at the actual end of the game, Apocalypse Tier 40. And at this point in the game, they can't really afford to just keep bleeding players. You have to keep the players that are playing the game right now, you have to keep them happy. That's the only way that this game, keeps going. And although I play solo 99% of the time, the fact that this game has, crossplay across all the platforms is amazing. But with that said, the original Outriders was on, Xbox Game Pass on Xbox. So that got cut off completely once the World Slayer came out, because World Slayer wasn't part of Game Pass. So that's already a slice of your player base gone if they didn't buy the DLC. And I think that just makes it more important right now to just shower everybody with what they want. Give them loot, give them, just make the game more fun and enjoyable to play. This game should not be a grind. I know they said that they want you to, feel some type of accomplishment by grinding all the way to Apocalypse Tier 40. But no, this ain't the game for that. This is for the most part, a single player game with some co-op elements. This game needs to be way more generous with the things that they give you, including XP, gear mods. We need to have better ways to actually acquire gear, because since they added the third slot on the Apocalypse Gear armor, that means your RNG window, your RNG pool is way too big now. So you got to get extra lucky to get, like the actual drops that you want. And it did put out a little dev note, a couple days ago, I believe on the 5th. So it's been like 3 or 4 days ago. But the things they're talking about in like the upcoming patch notes are pretty much irrelevant things, man. Like none of these things matter. Like, of course, you want to get more tier 3 mods. But I think the biggest issue right now is grinding up to max level and just farming gear. And I know they updated the drops inside of the the side rooms in Your Guitar, but something that I would like to see, I don't know if they're capable of doing it, but something that I think would really help is to add, like the windscreen after you kill the final arbiter. We need something like that for every one of the enclaves. So if you're doing the boots, if you need to farm boots, once you open the chest, a little screen should pop up that gives you the selection between 3, randomly apocalypse tier like boots. And the same thing goes for every room. The chest room, the legs, the gloves, the helmet, all those rooms need that same exact stream because the RNG is just too much. Like I don't understand. Well, I do understand that they want you to make builds, which this game does, exceed at making pretty unique builds if you, kind of walk off the beaten path and don't just do like the obvious things sometimes. So I really like that aspect, but we need a way to alleviate some of the RNG. And I don't mind the grind. I like the grind in any game I play. I don't mind it, but especially since the introduction of Apocalypse tier gear, we need some other way to focus gear other than just going to a room and praying, because that ain't working. Maybe they could add something like, if you get like 10 pieces of the same exact legendary chest piece, when you dismantle them, you get a currency for that specific set, and you can build your own with the actual perks that you want. I don't know, maybe something like that, but it's too much RNG. And at the end of the day, when people stop playing your game, when they're tired, they've done everything, you want them to leave the game happy. You don't want them to be salty. You don't want them to be like, hey man, that game it was rough. You want them to be satisfied. You want them to enjoy their time, enjoy their stay, and then leave happy. And they'll more than likely come back whenever you release something new from your studio. That's how you build trust. That's how you build rapport with players. And people remember that stuff. Like a lot of game companies these days don't really value, making their customers, happy. They just want to like nickel and dime them. But people's trust is a powerful thing, man. Like people will, once you earn a customer's trust, they're more than likely going to give you more of their money. That's just how it works. They also haven't made it clear whether this is the end of, actual Outriders, because the story ends on a pretty big cliffhanger that, doesn't give us any answers. Like it leaves on a giant cliffhanger. Unless they have something else, in the pipeline coming down, the next couple months that they just haven't mentioned yet. This is pretty much all we're going to get from the game besides, the occasional update, buffs, nerfs, stuff like that. So I really hope that they come out and, give us not like a roadmap, because those things are kind of like, that's like a death sentence once you put one of those out, but just let us know if there's actually something else coming down the line to look forward to. Something we can, hype our friends up about, hype ourselves up about, to keep us in the game, because as of right now, I don't know if I'm going to level up my Devastator, man. And I still need to do a a Trickster, and what's the fire one called? Oh my god, a Pyromancer. Yeah, so there's no way I'm getting all those classes up to 40. Like I'm not doing that grind. That's not going to happen, especially because when I play a character, I like to play just that character, maximize their potential, see what all they can do, try out all the crazy wacky builds. I may have one more build for my Technomancer, but I really want to play something else because it just sucks. Oh man, this is the whole crux of me making this video. I just don't want to do that grind again. It's so bad. And yes, I know I do play on PC. I could just, mod it in. I could just make myself Apocalypse tier 40 just for the sake of making, builds and stuff like that. But I'd rather not. I'd rather them just adjust the game, make it, manageable, and make it fun. That's it. That's literally it. Make it manageable, make it fun. And this video has gone on way too long, so I'm gonna cut it here. And let me know in the comments, man, like what y'all think they need to change about the game. What do y'all think they need to add? We need to adjust, because I got a lot of ideas, but the chances of them implementing anything like that in this game anyways is, impossible. They would have to do it in a completely new game. But that's all I got for you guys today, man. I appreciate you listening to me vent. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that shenanigans. And my name is Alex. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
ゲームオーバーです。